Hey guys, Andy here. So when the Google Home Hub was announced at the recent, well, reasonably recent Google event, when the price came out in the UK being £140, I was quite impressed. I thought it'd be quite a bit more than that. I thought we'd be looking at 180, 200 even. So then when they slashed the prices for Black Friday to £99, I was really impressed. I couldn't resist but order one. And here it is. So I have 4 Google Homes dotted around the flat. You can see one on my bedside table there. I'm not a massive user, but I do find it quite handy for, I control my lights with it, I control my heating with it. I set alarms, it's my alarm clock for the morning. I like it for conversions and doing quick maths for me rather than have to pull out the calculator on my phone app. You just ask it the question and it'll tell you. The Home Hub does interest me a bit in that it's got this screen, so all of a sudden you can ask it to show you things, or just, people say it's just a really good photo picture frame. That's what the word I was looking for. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. It does have various sort of decent controls built in for controlling all the different bits and pieces. Oh yeah, I turned the iron on with the Google Home. That's quite fun. Hey Google, turn the iron on. It lists on the side there some of the different apps and things that it has. It has made me want to get a Nest doorbell rather than my Ring video doorbell, because when somebody rings the doorbell, it will basically announce, if it knows them, who they are, but it will also show you the picture on the Home Hub, which is pretty cool. Google clearly have their sort of own way now in design, so there's sort of bright colours on the back is their thing now. Oh, we've got some dimensions on the side there, I think. A light sensor at the top. That's one thing that worries me a little bit. I don't like, not that I think it really matters, but I don't like things illuminating my room at night. I should also apologise with regards to the camera. You can see the camera. I am aware of that. It's not just a mishap, but for boxed things that are a bit bigger, I need the camera a bit further away so you can see better, basically. So, okay. So, now I don't know why I'm kind of surprised at just how small it is. I knew it was only a 7-inch screen. Well, I think it's 7-inch. But I don't know. I just wasn't really ready for it being that dinky. I can fit my whole hand over it. That is actually quite small. I just wasn't, I don't know. I guess, even though I know it was 7 inches, I guess I had more in my head like an iPad on a stand. And it's not, it's a dinky, it's almost a phone on a stand. So that is quite small. Let's pop that aside just for the moment to see what else is in the box. Okay, so there's the power and the cable in the side. We've got some instructions, and I think that bit is empty. I'm not massively concerned, but checking the instructions, I'm sure that's fine, but we will need, it's quite a nice looking plug, as plugs go. Looks to be quite a bit of cable. So I don't know that there's going to be enough cable. No, there's not going to be enough cable for me to plug it in and then film on this desk. So I'm going to have a think about how I'm going to do that. Right, I've worked it out. I found some sockets down the back. So we're going to plug it in. Now, I don't know how much of this sort of setup. Oh, there's a mute switch at the back, look. And that's a button on the side there. I'm not quite sure why. So I need to get the protective. That's stuck on quite firmly, actually.
Welcome to Google Home. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
I have. So, Home app. It's already, the screen on the video camera, perhaps it was showing a little bit sort of faded, dim at the bottom. It actually looks pretty good though, to the human eye as I'm looking at it. So we want to add a device. I guess we're setting up a device, yeah. New devices. Choose the home, yes. I don't know if you can see what I'm. So now it's looking for devices. See, I do. Yeah, that's fine. Where is the device? So I like that you get to specify what room it's in. It's now going to connect it up to my Wi-Fi automatically. So yeah, my plan is that I'm going to use it for a few days, maybe even a week. I'm always doing a software update, and I'll come back to you really to show you how useful it is. Because I think a few times I've found that I've used home devices like this, like the Alexa, like the Google Home, and I've done the unboxing, kind of taught you through it, and I've not really come back to the review because there's not really much more to say. Yeah, I use it to turn the lights on and off. Yeah, I use it to set an alarm, and that's kind of it. I think there's going to be a little bit more to show you, hopefully, with the Home Hub. But I'd rather, so a lot of the time I do kind of just fire my way through it with you guys. And I know some people don't like that. And I think, to be fair, I would rather use it for a little while so I can show you what it does rather than we try and discover, because there might be lots of stuff I miss otherwise. So I'm going to come away from it at this point, and via the magic of editing, you'll be back with me any second. I'll have all this experience of using it. I can tell you all about it. So, welcome back. I've been using it. To be fair, I've more just been researching it than using it. It was only yesterday I recorded the unboxing part, but I did quite a lot of research yesterday, and I've used it bits and pieces myself. So I'm just going to take you through a lot of what it can do and how it works, and hopefully what the differences are between this and a regular Google Home that doesn't have a screen. Let's start off with kind of how you control it. So you swipe down from the top to get your home controls, the hub that it kind of talks about it being, I suppose. So I like you've got some simple straight away. I mean, not that it's going to particularly make much difference because I've got big lamps. You maybe just, wrong corner, you maybe just saw it there, it got a little bit darker. I'm going to turn them back on. You see it coming back on? And we can go into the lights, just the lights in my bedroom. You get a percentage, as you do with the thermostat, and it's also quite nice and easy to go in to change. Again, if you're looking up in that corner, you might see, there you go, you can see the differences. So that's quite cool. We dismiss by swiping from the left. You can see the rooms, so we've got different things in different rooms. I can turn my iron on and off and stuff like that. It's all quite smart. So I quite like that. From the bottom, we get sort of brightness and volume and all those kind of things. So here's the brightness. Now it's set to auto at the minute, but you can come in and manually change that. Let's go back to auto. We come back up, and we've got the volume. Obviously there was a volume button on that side. Let's go in. So you can see that, fine. Again, swipe down. So I've swiped my way back to, so you can always get all the way back to the standard, just the clock. But generally you're gonna have it on the photo frame. We'll come to that in a moment. Tap again and we're into the main kind of home really. So you've got the time and the weather and things. We can, I think it's actually tap on the day, sorry.
Today in Chipping Barnet, it'll be partly cloudy, with a forecast high of 12 and a low of 7 degrees Celsius. Right now it's 12 and mostly cloudy.
She gives us the weather report. I'm working the weekend, thanks very much, brilliant. But obviously that will show whatever calendars you got set up, that'll show your upcoming events. And we can scroll through all the different cards. The one thing I don't particularly like, we'll see when I've opened something, the card for it will appear here and you can't dismiss it. You can't hold, well not that I'm aware, you can't hold and reorder the cards. You're kind of stuck with what they give you, which is not a massive issue, but let's open YouTube Music.
Okay, here's YouTube.
And we'll give it a moment to load in my mixtape, some Ed. We like Ed. Let's put Ed on. So you can obviously tap the screen, get the controls. When your legs don't work like they used to before. And it's generally nice and smooth. And I'm going to turn the volume up just so you can kind of hear the volume. But I'm going to tell you now as well, I'm then going to say the magic words. And even when, we'll see if it works live while filming, even when the volume's really high, I don't have to say very loud. It seems to be very good at hearing me ask it to do something. So we'll try that now. Sweep you off of your feet. Will your mouth still remember the taste? Hey, turn the volume down. Will your eyes still smile from your cheek? So hopefully, let's give you a bit more of the high volume. Till we're 70. And baby, my heart could still fall as. Pause. So I actually think that's quite impressive. It's on very loud, and I'm not sure if I was sat next to me, I would hear me saying "Hey G," but it does. So I think that's really quite impressive. Very quickly it goes back to the screen. So that's now my latest card, and I can't get rid of that anyway that I'm aware of. Not that it's a massive issue, but so after that, obviously there are regular voice commands. What I think is a little bit odd, so I get to select what my default music player is. It could be Spotify, it could be Google Play Music. I selected YouTube Music specifically because it's a screen. If I ask it to play me some music, it'd be great if it played me the music video. Cool. Play Ed Sheeran.
Sure, try this Ed Sheeran station on YouTube.
So it used YouTube Music to play like there's no music video, it's just the music though. And maybe, I suppose perhaps I'm getting, well no, because YouTube Music I can do that on my phone. I suppose I have to select to watch the video, but so it would have been quite nice if it sort of detected, hey, we're on a hub, we've got a screen, let's play the version with the video. Not a massive issue, just something I was a little bit disappointed with. So I think the speaker generally, it sounds okay. I don't know how well it's going to come across through my microphone. I've seen other people refer to it saying it's basically the same as a Google Home Mini. Personally, I put it somewhere between the Mini and the regular. So the regular's actually got quite a lot of bass, and the Mini's quite tinny. There's not a lot of bass in this, but I would say I think it's better than a Google Home Mini. It's just not up there with the regular Google Home, which is not fantastic. So you'll understand that we're not saying this is, what you're going to hold a party using. So I do like so let's come back to kind of voice commands and things. So I like that you get a visual backup and representation, and sometimes an audio. So listen to what happens when I say, hey, did the Washington Redskins win?
No, the Redskins lost 31-23 on the 22nd of November against the Cowboys.
So I don't know if you could hear that. There was like a crowd cheering in the background because it's a football match. What's the latest value of Bitcoin?
1 BTC equals 3,397 British pounds and 17 pence.
So it's only a very small thing, but I just like the image, or find an image related to whatever you've asked a question about. I just think that's quite nice. I think if you have kids, I think it's one thing that looks really good is, tell me a story.
Okay, here's Sleeping Beauty from Storynery on Google Play Books.
Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time, there lived a king and a queen.
So if you've got kids, I mean, maybe, I don't know if it makes you a bad parent, I don't know, I'm not a parent. But if you you plonk this down next to your kid's bed and tell her a story, and it's gonna read a story. I mean, I guess that would work on a regular hub. It's not really using it with a video, the actual screen for, but I just think it's quite cool. One of the big aspects that people always talk about is how it can help you with cooking and recipes. So we'll give that a go. Hey, how do I cook a turkey?
Here are some recipes I found.
So we'll start cooking.
Before we start, preheat oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, 106.
Hey, next.
There are 10 ingredients. You can ask for the next ingredient or skip to the instructions.
Cool.
First
Skip to the instructions.
There's 14 steps. I'll read them one by one. When you're ready to hear more, you can say, next step. First step, place onion, celery, and carrot in a large, shallow roasting pan.
Hey, next step.
Second step, place turkey, breast side up, on top of the vegetables in the roasting pan.
Now, I'm no chef, but that would be the kind of thing actually that would encourage me to give it a go. That's just really clear, simple, easy, no hands needed. Somebody literally is kind of talking you through how you, I mean, I'm not going to cook a turkey if I was starting out on cooking, but, you know, something simpler perhaps. So, it seems definitely a good use. Google. Play the news.
Here's the latest news. From headlines from BBC News at 4:10 p.m. today.
The BBC.
There's yet another row about...
Hey. Play Sky News.
Here's the latest news. From Sky News at 4:02 p.m. today.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show. Donald Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen has pleaded guilty to misleading Congress in its Russia.
So at this point, let's just turn the volume down. We'll take a look at the screen. I actually think the screen's, I think it's pretty good. That generally looks nice and crisp and clear. The brightness is good. It does have, I think I mentioned, a sort of a bright sensor, a light sensor at the top. Not particularly easy to trick it, but yeah, I think the screen is pretty good. It's also worth pointing out, I'm not entirely sure how I did it, but I got it to split screen. Play. So that's quite cool. I mean, not that it particularly works all that well. I'm not sure which bit of the screen it's decided to show us. But we've still got our instructions on the one side. Oh, that's a shame. But, you know, I'm sure actually that can be improved in time, to be honest. Is that stopping or is that going to keep going? We've still got our recipe. We can still go back to that if we need because the card is still there. So when not in use, it's going to go into the ambient mode again very shortly. I'll bring the camera back for a second. And we're going to come into the Home app. Now I need to go to, so that's it there. And I'm going to go to the settings at the top. So what was I looking for? So ambient mode. We get a few different options in ambient mode. So we're on the Google Photos. I think you saw that when I was setting up, where you can decide which different, I don't need to load it again. But we also we can do things like a full screen clock. So if we select that one, it's reasonably quick and updated. So basically there's three different designs, and there's a dark version, and there's a light version of each one. I think that's quite cool. Personally, I do prefer, we'll go back to Google Photos, and it should change back to that. And we get some other options of what it shows on the screen when we're doing it. So that's quite smart. When you're in ambient mode, you can sort of scroll through the photos. So if you've just seen one, oh, what was that? You can go back to it. So that's quite nice. You can just kind of scroll through them. It's pretty cool. So the light sensor, one of the things that concerned me was how it might light the room up when I'm trying to sleep, because that lives just down here on my bedside table. When all the lights are off, actually it gets really dim. I was able to take a photo using night mode on my Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and you can only just, I mean, night mode is amazing at bringing up any light, and there's almost just no light. You can see the time. You can see that it's an LCD display, so you can see that the black is illuminated black. You probably know what I mean if you've had an LCD screen, but it is so dim, you know, it's not like you couldn't. I kind of do a test if you can make hand puppets against the wall. So sometimes I've had a wireless charger where the light is so bright you can make hand puppets. That's too bright. You can't make hand puppets with the hub, so it passes that test for me. When the lights go off, and I don't know if we'll be able to emulate it or not by killing the. So you've seen it dim a bit there, and now you can see, because the screen's dim, you can see the reflection of me. It gets sometimes a bit of a yellow tint, which is kind of odd, but at the same time, I think someone that didn't know that came into your house could look at that thinking it was an actual photo. I don't know how well it works on the camera, but I don't know if that's because the screen is that good, or I don't know what they've done. It looks really kind of authentic, I suppose is the word. The other things work just like with the original Google Home, so you can still do broadcasts. If you didn't know about that, I could basically say, hey G, broadcast, dinner's ready, and basically all my Google Homes will make an announcement saying dinner's ready. What else can we do? Group play, I like that. So I've set a group up that's the entire flat, which is basically all the Google Homes in my flat. So when I say, hey G, play Ed Sheeran 2 entire flat, it starts playing out of all of them perfectly in sync. And actually that sounds quite good when you've got This is a bit of a higher range. You've got a regular Google Home, it's got a bit of bass in it. It sounds pretty good then. You could, if you dotted 2 or 3 of them in your room, you would have reasonably good sound. I've not got the Nest doorbell to be able to test it, but in theory, when somebody rings your door, the Home Hub should announce it and say who's there and show you on the screen who's there. I'm told that's really unreliable at the moment. It doesn't work very often, but you would hope that comes with some software updates. And I really like the idea of that. Actually, it makes me think I would want to get a hub in the living room. Well, that I'd want to get a Nest doorbell because I've got a Ring, because Nest didn't make them when I got a video doorbell. So the only thing for me, I would have liked a camera on it. I'm not the paranoid type. I would have liked a camera that I'd be able to do, like, I don't know, whatever, duo video calls with my family, with my mum or whoever else. I would have liked that because I'm not the paranoid type. And I know I do understand why you wouldn't, but I've got a camera here, I've got a camera in my phone. I don't have a massive issue with having a camera in the hub. So that's the only drawback for me. Otherwise, I really like it. I would go as far as I say I love the device. The speaker's not amazing, but for me it's perfectly adequate. I would say it sounds pretty good for what it is. I love the visual backups to the information you're asking for. I like actually just being able to see what it's hearing you say. So you don't get with the Google Hub. So when it doesn't work, so the only thing that's been a bit tricky, and I think it's learning gradually and it's getting better, is turning the iron on. It sometimes says, okay, turning the lights off in the bedroom. Where did you get that from? I asked you to turn the iron on. And if you can actually see what it's hearing, it might just help a little bit. Personally, I wouldn't sit watching anything, so I wouldn't sit watching the news on this. I've got a big monitor, I've got a TV. But I like that the option's there. As I said, actually, if it's in the kitchen where I haven't got a screen, yeah, maybe I would start up some YouTube videos while I'm doing things in there. So, yeah, and the screen, I think the screen's pretty good. The kitchen help probably is the biggest, like if, I don't know, maybe, yeah, the biggest reason you might want to buy this would perhaps be that it's going to help out in the kitchen a lot, or could help out in the kitchen a lot. At the same time, I love the photo frame, so there is all kind of uses for it. It just made me wish that I'd bought more for my relatives while it was on the cheap price. The only other thing I suppose I would love for them to do, so this is quite small at 7 inches, and I would perhaps think if they'd just given the option of like a 7-inch or a 10-inch. Having said that, I've just said I'm not going to sit watching stuff on it, so I guess just for the photo frame aspect would have been quite nice if it was slightly bigger. So all in all, I'll give it a total thumbs up. I'd love to know your thoughts on both the device and the video. Let me know in the comments down below, but for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon. Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum. If you've got any questions about things or request me to review things or anything else, just come and have a chat on the forum.